Hi guys, it's Britt Bingold. I am here to talk to you guys today about the somebody wanted but so then summarization strategy. I have decided to use an activity from Springboard for the secondary teachers out there. Plus, I just happen to have it because I used to teach secondary English, so here we go. But you could upload any PDF that you guys have from ReadyGen or even just an online article works too for this strategy that you want to use. It works best with a fictional piece because we're looking for character motivation and just kind of a summary of what the character is doing in a short piece. Okay, so this is Speak by Lori Halse Anderson. And in order to use the strategy effectively, you want your students to use different color highlighters. And so at home, that's really hard. We don't know if they have a pink highlighter and a blue highlighter. You could always use crayons too, but in this case, I'm going to show you guys an online annotation tool that I think will help with some of the annotations that we typically like students to do in class, but we can do it in a digital format. So the first thing that you guys would need to do would be to go ahead and open a new tab. And when you open that new tab, you're going to go ahead and you're going to search your Chrome extension store or your Chrome web store. Should be the first thing that comes up. And then you're going to go ahead and click extensions. And then you're going to search the store for Weava or Weava, or I don't actually know what it should sound like, but I say Weava. And then you'll see it here. Mine's already added, so yours won't look like that. So you're going to go ahead and click. And then this button here should say Add to Chrome. So go ahead and click the Add to Chrome. When you do that, it's going to pop up here in your extensions. These are all Chrome extensions that I have added to my Google Chrome. Okay. So we have a highlighter, and you can only use the highlighter for PDFs or actual web articles. So it will not work in a Google document or a Google slide. Okay, so that's something that you need to kind of keep in mind when you're wanting your students to annotate something online. But it's a great highlight tool. So once you have that added, you're going to go back to your piece. Okay, and you're going to open up the Weava Chrome extension. Okay, and this is our sample remote learning activity. Okay, and here's all my colors, and I can add as many colors as I want, but this is perfect for the summarization strategy that we're working on. So pink is going to be somebody. Orange is going to be wanted. Yellow is going to be but. Green is going to be so, and blue is going to be then. You can just kind of hit save, okay? And then you guys can just go ahead and click off that. It'll close that little bar that comes out, and then you can start having your students read the piece. And you can probably screencastify this for the first time for them, and then they'll be able to do it on their own the next time. So this is from the novel Speak, and it's just a quick excerpt. And we don't know the novel, the narrator's name. But to do somebody, oh, hello, PDF. But to do somebody, we want to highlight who is the narrator. So if you have a name, you would highlight their name. And then it says right here, oh, pink means somebody. So we're going to highlight I in pink because I is the narrator. So if it has the name Romeo, you would highlight Romeo or whoever it is, okay, in pink. That's the somebody. And then the students are going to look at the excerpt and they're going to look at what does that somebody want? They want something. And in this excerpt, this poor person, she just wants to eat lunch, okay? And there's a whole paragraph about what is acceptable as a new student for lunch. It's actually quite hilarious if you end up reading it. You know, is it a hip way to save the planet? Like, I don't want to look geeky. So buying lunch is my only solution. So I get the hot lunch is turkey. I'm not sure how to order anything else, so I just kind of follow along and I get my lunch. So somebody wanted what? They wanted to have lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this line. She's going to buy lunch. That's what she wanted in this passage so far. The next thing the students are going to look for is the but. Okay, somebody wanted something, but something happened that got in the way of it. Okay, and so in this passage, she actually doesn't get to eat the lunch because a couple basketball players decided to have a little mini food fight, and unfortunately, a lump of potatoes and gravy hits her just square in the chest. So she doesn't get to have lunch because that happens. So there's that but part that you're going to highlight there. The next thing the students are going to look for is the so. Okay, so that happens. So then what happened next? Well, she totally ditched her whole tray that she just bought and bolted for the door because she was so embarrassed. Okay, so that's what happens after she gets hit with the potatoes. And then what you want your students to look for is, okay, then what? What happens, okay, after she bolts? Well, she runs into a teacher who apparently thought that she was trouble the first time he saw her, and unfortunately, he decides to give her no more warnings and gives her a demerit for wandering the halls without a pass. So that's what happens then. What's nice about this strategy is it quickly pinpoints for the students, especially on their second read or third read, through something, a quick way to summarize, okay? Somebody wanted, but so then, okay? And it pulls it out for them. So once your student has everything highlighted, you want to go back into your Weava extension and you're going to see that those things are there for you, okay? And they're there for the student. So the student can use these as tools to help them create their summary statement or their summary paragraph off of the reading, okay? And they can actually use these as direct quotes. They can also add notes to each of these, okay, so that they remember what happens, okay? They can delete them if they're like, ooh, I didn't really like that one, or if maybe they were talking to their parent or family member as they were doing this exercise online and the parent was like, ooh, I don't think that one's right, they could delete it. Okay, but at that time they are able to see their highlights and be able to then write in, into a Google Doc a quick summary. Okay, if you go to the dashboard, what's really nice about it is it'll go ahead and it'll take you to speak. Okay, and it'll take them right to all their highlights. And it'll actually help them edit or cite. So if they want to use one of these direct quotes in their summary paragraph, they can click on edit or cite, and it'll give them the citation down at the bottom, an APLA or MLA, okay? And that kind of is just like a nice little tool for them to see, creates it for them. And they can use that as their options. If you click back into Speak, the way to have students save this with their annotations there is to click the download button, and you want them to download it with the highlights, okay? Basically what it's going to do is it's going to basically try to print it. Now my computer has been super slow on my home connection, and it kind of freaks out here. Like, look, it's going to freak out, but it'll come in just a second. But basically they will, the destination that you see right here, you want to use this drop down and it'll say save to Google Drive. And then they can save it to their Google Drive. And then they can write a quick summary, maybe paragraph or a post-it on top of it, and using like a digital post-it note, which we can, I guess, get into later, and submit that to your Google Classroom as that they highlighted and they summarized the piece if that is something that you want them to do. I told you, it just takes a little while. I don't know exactly why. It doesn't like my home internet. It says it's not responding, but it will. I hate for you guys to waste your time. So I'll go ahead and cancel, but it should say here in the drop down, save to Google Drive for your students. Oh, and now I've made it really angry. So should we just click out of that? Oh, well, oh, and now it's happy. Oh, see, save to Google Drive. It's a beautiful thing. So you can have them save it to Google Drive, which is awesome. Or then they can save it as a PDF as well, and save it to wherever they want to save it. But saving it to Google Drive, I think, would be the easiest for the students. Okay, that helpful, and I really appreciate everything you guys are doing for your students out there. We are all in this together, and clearly I'm learning right along with you. So